Good evening and welcome to the Whiskey Lover Society with me, Gert Retief. And tonight we are looking at the Arran 21. Again, it's a sample that I bought from my online whiskey store, bottle number 4. As I stated before in some of my other videos, I love the idea of going to a whiskey store. They give you a long list of whiskies they have as samples. You order it, give them about 2 days. They will then fill the sample bottles from a big bottle, and a day later they ship it to your address, which I think it's a fantastic idea, especially if you want to try something that can be quite expensive. Give it a try. Maybe you like it, then you can go buy the full bottle. And if you don't like it, of course, it's not a huge problem. This one will cost around €13.50. Is a little bit expensive, but you can imagine if you review a whiskey every 2-3 days, if I had to buy a big bottle every time, it's going to cost a freaking fortune. So I love this idea. Only found it a couple of weeks ago, so I was super excited. From now on, this is going to be my go-to place to get my samples. And of course, if I do like it, they have my business. So I am going to spend my money in one shop here in Belgium, which I would have tried to buy in Germany, or I would have gone to Holland and buy some whiskey there. Prices are a little bit better, but of course the convenience of buying a sample in my own country, I do like that idea. So tonight we are looking at the Arran 21-year-old. I did pour it maybe 15-20 minutes ago. It is a 21-year-old, so it does need a little bit of time in the glass. So at least they say 21 minutes, for 1 minute for every year. For me, it's not always so easy to wait for 21 minutes to drink a whiskey, but I prevailed. I waited almost 21 minutes. And tonight I'm going to give it a nice nose, a taste, and I'm going to give it a score. So it is so nice on the nose, but I'm jumping ahead. So it is matured in 100% ex sherry butts. So that means it's around 500-liter sherry cask. Well, and what they do say, it is a very old sherry cask. So does it, for me, when they say something like that, it tends to tell me it could be a very, very old sherry cask that is tired or worn and all the good stuff is out. I don't know. But it also means for me, it is a sherry butt, so huge volume, 500 liters. So there's not a lot of contact between the whiskey and the oak. So that also means even for 21 years, it should not be a lot of oak tannins in it, which I really appreciate. So cost, it is around €140 for a bottle, but I've seen online it can vary between 130 up to about €160 for a bottle. So shop around if you do want to buy one of these. Bottled at 46% ABV. And I have not looked about the coloring, but I don't want to taint my view on it. So I normally don't dig into the nosing notes and the tasting notes. After I've done the review, I would normally go back and I would search about coloring. In this case, I don't know. It is quite consistent with the 21-year-old, I think, and the fact that they do have it in sherry butts. So I do suspect that there will not be any coloring in, but I will correct myself over here if I do find anything with that regards. And of course, 46% probably no chill filtration present. So with that, on the nose, cheers. It is, for me, it's the typical Arran notes that I get. As you've seen, and I'll put all the links somewhere in the description. I've reviewed a couple of the Arrans in the last 2-3 weeks. And this is the typical Arran notes that I get. It is slight, lovely, fruity notes coming out. And with this one, it does not disappoint. So the first thing that I get is a lovely light sweetness. You do get the sherry influences immediately. So I get the vanilla, a little bit of a caramel, maybe a little bit of a toffee note as well, that nice soft English toffees. My mouth is watering already. So fruitiness, I do get a little bit of a sweet Asian pears. Also maybe it can also be a dark red apple. Very nice. I do love it. And when I also get the baking spices, I get a little bit of a cinnamon coming out. Quite reminds me a bit of a Christmas cake with a lot of brandy that has been soaking in brandy for 6 months, and every 2 weeks you put a little bit, half a cup of brandy on it, so that the rich darkness coming out. So it is bottled at 46% ABV, but I don't really get the alcohol. So for me, that I've also a little bit of a sign of maturity, is that sharpness in a young whiskey, that sharpness of the alcohol, it's not present on this one. Really, really nice. I think this is the type of thing that you would call your special dram that you share only with your very good friends. Fantastic on the nose. I really like and appreciate the nose. But we need to drink it as well. So, cheers. Even at 46%, the alcohol is there, but a little bit of a tingle on the tongue. But the first thing that you get is that lovely sweetness. Deep, sweet, rich, creamy caramel. It reminds me a little bit, here we have chocolates in Belgium. The caramel salted chocolates. You buy them, I think it's called Godiva. Big slabs of these caramel salted chocolates. Reminds me a lot like that. Sweetness, a hint of a saltiness. Every now and again you get a little pocket of a salt. Fantastic. Creamy, quite creamy as well. First thing that what I also noticed, it leaves my mouth quite dry, which I'm a little bit surprised on that. I think that is a little bit of an oaky tannin coming out, but it's not a bitter tannin. But I do have a little bit of a dry mouth feel. So let's try again. Now on the second sip, I do get a hint of the oak coming out. A little bit of an oak spice, but it's very faint. Out of between 1 and 10, I would say maybe 1.5. So little bit of a tannin coming out, more like a hint of a dark chocolate note in the taste. Really, really nice. Well balanced. I do appreciate this one. So I think what I need to do, normally I would add a little bit of water. I don't think it is necessary for me to add water on this one. It's not harsh on the tongue. So I think for me, I will do it because just to give it a little bit of a comparison. So I'm going to add, on this one, it is not much left. I'm going to put in maybe 4 drops of water. So 4 drops of water. Remember, you can always add more water if you want to. But I think with 21 years old, 46% ABV, be careful with the water, couple of drops. This one, I put in 4 drops of water. And immediately, when I add water, I get a more caramel notes coming out. I also get a little bit of a dusty note coming out. And a little bit of a raisin notes coming out. So there is definitely a little bit sweeter on the nose. Quite pleasant on the nose. So taste with a little bit of water. Cheers. So the oakiness does change for me a little bit. And I think it's because of the reduction of the alcohol. You get a little bit more oak this time, but it makes it like a sweeter oak. So very pleasant. And I also get a little bit more sweetness in the taste. So sweet, nice, sweet, soft oak coming out. Reminds me maybe a little bit of a sweetened chocolate, maybe like 60-70% cacao. Lovely. Okay, one more try. It is really nice. Really, it is so well balanced from the nose to the taste to the finish, and the sweetness is still in my mouth. Your mouth starts watering for more. Hey, this is my type of dram. You know I hate the oak, and this is not disappointing. Really nice. So my thoughts on this one. Well balanced. You have your sweetness, it'll have a hint of the oak, a little chocolatey note. The sherry notes is definitely coming out, but it's not a sherry bomb by no means. No sherry bomb. It is a hint of everything. A little bit of this and a little bit of a fruit and a little bit of a mixture of everything that does not jump out and scream, I am the winner of this nosing or tasting. It's all very subtle, well balanced. Definitely recommend it. It is expensive, 140 euros on average for a bottle. So buy the sample first. Remember, we don't taste and smell things the same. Never, ever take a word of anybody on what a whiskey should smell and taste like. Always find a bottle that suits your palate. In other words, this might be fantastic for you. You might hate it. I might hate something and you think, hey, he's talking nonsense. He's got no idea what he's talking about. And that is the nice thing about whiskey. It's a subjective matter. Anybody and everybody can do it. And it's about what your experience are with regards to a whiskey. And of course, nobody is wrong. And that I've learned many, many years ago when I had a couple of drams with my dad. Nobody is wrong. So, score-wise, I'm going to give it a 89 out of 100. I would definitely recommend it. If you have a little bit of extra money, go buy a sample bottle first. Make sure you like it. And if you say this is the one for you, thank me in the comments. If it's not one for you, don't thank me in the comments, but comment and tell me why you liked it or maybe why you did not like it. So thank you very much for watching. Please remember to subscribe still a growing channel, but I'm having so much fun with this. So see you next time. Cheers.